How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about DACA and the Supreme Court case happening right now, which seeks to end it. Now, there is a whole lot to quote unquote unpack here. As the cool kids would say, we got to talk about the so-called protesters outside saying, I don't care if DACA ends, I'm not going anywhere, all this, that, and the third. And of course, we got to talk about what DACA is and also some of the reactions from normies out there that may or may not be in the country illegally. But first, let's talk about what DACA is in case you don't know. There's some confusion about it. There's a lot of different things being said. I'm here to give you the facts, and I'll back up my facts with links in the description box below. Now, DACA stands for Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals. It was a program put into effect by one Barack Obama in 2012. And it stated that if you were in the country illegally before you turned 16 and you were at max 31 in 2012, you could apply for this program. Now, what many say is that it just protects you against deportation. You know, you don't have any felonies or any kind of quote unquote severe misdemeanors on your record. If you do have those, you can't apply. You will not be accepted if you do apply. But it's been framed as a thing that is for low-level people as far as criminality is concerned. You're producing, you're going to school, this, that, and the third. So it's to protect you from deportation. According to them, it lasts for 2 years. You must get it renewed every 2 years. But what it also does is potentially allow you to get a social security number, a driver's license, a work permit, many things that if you're here illegally, you should not have. Maybe even in-state tuition. You might not even need to be a DACA recipient to get in-state tuition as an illegal alien, but that's a different story, and I digress. My point is that DACA is kind of a soft form of amnesty. It does not grant you citizenship, but it might as well. I mean, you're not going to get deported. You can go to school, go to work. You pretty much do whatever you want to do as a DACA recipient, okay, while you're in the country illegally. Now, the arguments for DACA would be, hey, these people were kids when they came to the country illegally. It's not their fault, all this, that, and the third. First of all, I'm not sure how a person proves that they were brought here as a child against their will. I mean, if you were 15, 16, maybe even 14, you could come by yourself. So if you came by yourself across the border from some random place overseas even, like, are you considered somebody that came here and it wasn't really your idea to do so? That it was not your free will to do so? I don't know. But beyond that, I would think the bigger thing would be, how about you become a citizen in the country, petition for that rather than petition to, you know, take advantage of the whole DACA program. Okay. It gets abused by people. It's not a good program to have on the books. So the Supreme Court case is there to end it. Not only is it not a good program, it's also been deemed as unconstitutional by the High Court. So we may see within the next few days, hours even, DACA come to an end. People are out there protesting, talking about, I'm not going anywhere. Even if DACA is rescinded, I bet you will go somewhere if you're deported. Okay, you're not gonna have much of a choice at that point. You know, ICE come to your door and say, hey, come with me. It's time to go. You're gonna have to go. Now, I'm not a totally cold-hearted person. I don't understand if somebody was a baby and they were brought over here, that it's not their fault they're in the country. But hey, that's not my fault either. That's not the fault of the USA. That's not anybody's fault other than your parents. If they brought you here when you were a baby, it is what it is. You know, if you were brought here as a baby and you're almost 40 years old, at a certain point, it's like, all right, when are you going to become a citizen? You see what I'm saying? I can see if you're still a child, but when you're an adult, what are you doing? You just acting like it's no real big deal to become a citizen? I know people that have come from other parts of the world, not just, you know, southern border, Mexico, Guatemala, Honduras. People have come from Africa. People have come from Europe. People have come from Asia and have spent $10,000, $100,000 to bring themselves and their family over here, have worked years and years and years to come over here legally through the front door. Those people, I say, hey, you're doing it the right way. Come one, come all. Okay. Now, I'm not saying everybody in the world come over here, but if you are a legal immigrant, I don't care what the circumstances are, I support you. But if you're here as a DACA recipient, I mean, that's not even, to me, that's not even really a thing. I don't see how you can just act like that's fine. Yeah, I know it's the law. If you following the law, that's great, but it's not a right law, so it's going to get rescinded pretty soon. Now, I've read that there's between 690,000 to 800,000 DACA recipients in the USA. That's quite a big number. Most of them are not going to be deported, even if DACA ends. And I'll explain why. ICE has a priority on criminal aliens. Aside from being here illegally, which is a crime, I'm talking about those that commit crimes aside from being an illegal alien, breaking and entering, rape, murder, kidnapping, etc. They're focusing on those people to get them out of the country. Okay. Now, what Trump said in the tweet, which I placed on the screen before you, is both good and kind of bad. And I'll explain that. What he said about some DACA recipients being hardened criminals is the truth. Someone said you can't have a felony or a very serious misdemeanor and receive DACA, but you could be a DACA recipient and then commit crime afterwards. Or you could be a DACA recipient and have committed crime that has gone unprosecuted or uncaught. So you may be somebody that is a gangbanger and also a DACA recipient. Maybe you were a gangbanger somewhere else, Mexico, Guatemala, Honduras, and you come over here and you've not committed crime yet. How did they really know if you come over here illegally? You could have been 14, 15, being a violent gangbanger in Mexico. You come across the border through port of entry, you seek an asylum, and then apply for DACA. How did they know the difference? So what he said was correct in that respect, but what he said I don't agree with was if it were to end, DACA that is, a deal could be made with the Democrats for them to stay. Now, I'm not really sure what kind of deal that could be aside from what DACA is, which is going to be rescinded, other than outright amnesty. I don't know what it is. Maybe if it was a matter of saying, okay, they're going to still be low priority, I'd be with that because they're low priority anyway if they're not on the radar of any kind of FBI, local police, state police, or whatever. They're still going to be low priority, so the chances of them being deported is not very high. If you got upwards of 30 million illegal aliens in the country, you're not going to go after everybody that is here illegally. You're going to hit the priority people first. Organized crime, pedophiles, thieves, whatever it is. You go after them first and other people second. There's no guarantee that if you wind up in a drunk tank after a wild night, and then they run your paperwork and you here illegally, that you won't be deported. It is what it is. Okay. Matter of fact, if you commit a crime under DACA and you go to jail, they can rescind your DACA status on that, potentially, depending upon what the crime is. All right. But I digress. My point is that I'm not really with him on that to say it'd be a deal beyond what already happened, such as amnesty. That's not the wave at all. It'll most certainly be abused, and it will prompt a rush of individuals to come to southern border and try to get in and then be like, oh, I'm a DACA recipient, is that and the third. So I don't think you really want that. But what I do think we want is an end to the DACA program. You want to come to this country, come through the front door, don't come through the back. Let's get that wall built up. Let's crack down on some of them visas that are being abused. The H-1B, H-2B, there's a lot of different visas that get abused. Even tourist visas, people overstay their tourist visa. So let's get a lot of the entry into the country down, get the border wall built up, and let's get rid of some of these programs that enable illegal aliens to be here. You're giving them welfare benefits, social security number, jobs, all kind of stuff while they're not following the law. Let's have law-abiding citizens, regardless of where they come from. I don't care. You could come from Africa, Asia, Europe, South America, Canada, Venezuela, whatever it is. As long as you are a legal citizen, you're an American, and your needs should come first as an American, not as hyphen American, as an American, period. I'm an American citizen. If you are here legally in the country, you're an American citizen, regardless of what your race, origin, ethnicity, whatever you want to call it. You're an American. If you're here illegally, you are not an American. It is what it is. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? Do you think that it's appropriate for DACA to be rescinded? If that's your viewpoint, let me know why in the comments below. Or is it inappropriate? Are we going to, quote unquote, ruin lives like Supreme Court Justice Sotomayor said? Is that really the real thing here? Or are we just trying to have a country of laws? I mean, There's laws on the books. You can't come to the country illegally, and if you do, there's a penalty for it. You go ahead and get deported, locked up, whatever the case may be. If I break into somebody's home, there's a penalty for me. I go to jail. I got breaking and entering, weapons, theft, whatever it is. That's what I get charged with. And if there's evidence for me to have done that, then I get convicted and sent to jail. It should be the same thing for everybody else. Or am I wrong here? Am I just being a bigot? Do I hate brown people? Do I hate immigrants? Although I was speaking about illegal aliens, not legal immigrants. Whatever your comments are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.